שירו לאדוני, שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני, כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני, ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שיר לאדוני, שיר לאדוני, שיר לאדוני. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני, שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני, כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני, ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר
intro? Do you remember the intro for this? Okay, go ahead.
Shabbat Shalom and Chag Urim Sameach. It is so good to be together after another long week. Life feels extra busy, extra chaotic, and extra heavy these days, which is why Shabbat is so important and Hanukkah too. I received a special series of readings from the Hartman Institute in Jerusalem, meditations for lighting our Hanukkah candles, and I'd like to share some of it with you. Celebrating Hanukkah, the festival of lights, feels particularly hard in these dark days as we mourn with those who have lost loved ones and cry over the horrifying violence of recent weeks. It is hard to breathe, and it will remain hard to breathe until all the hostages and soldiers are safely home. Coming together to light the Hanukkah candles reminds us that even in the darkest times, our forebears believed in the power of one little light, and then another, lit alongside many others to change the world. Perhaps in this way, we can succeed in making the world a brighter place and uplifting the good within it. Tonight, as we light our second candle, we are reminded of our shared and ongoing historic responsibility for one another and the need to support each other even in tough times. Our light brings light to others. With that, it's my pleasure to call up Leslie and Adam Osborne to light our Belden menorah, and you can find the candle blessings for Hanukkah on page 279.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'adlik ner shel Chanukah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim lavotenu bayamim
We kindle these lights because of the wondrous deliverance you performed for our ancestors. During these 8 days of Hanukkah, these lights are sacred. We are not to use them, but only to behold them, so that their glow may rouse us to give thanks for your wondrous acts of deliverance.
Thank you. We turn now to page 3 as we welcome Shabbat with light. And it is my pleasure to call up our bat mitzvah for this Shabbat, Talia Rhinesmith, along with her mother, Elisa, her brother, Levi, her grandmother, Brenda Gilbert, and her grandmother, Lori Rhinesmith, to offer the readings and blessings.
Our lives give light to all who behold us. As the brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lechadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Thank you.
We turn now to page 14 as we welcome Shabbat with song Or Zarua Latzadik. On page 20, we make ready to welcome the Sabbath bride as we sing Lecha Dodi. We sing verses 1 and 2, 5 and 9. And when we reach verse 9, Bawiva Shalom, we rise as a congregation. We turn to the entrance of our sanctuary to welcome that Shabbos bride, that Shabbos spirit we feel when we sing together as one. And whether you're here with us in the Wolf Sanctuary or joining us from your own sacred space, wherever that is, know that your voice and your presence, they count to make Shabbat feel real. So sing with us. Turn to those around you, wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Let them know how glad you are they're here. Don't sit down, don't sit down. I am actually going to turn us to page 28 for the Baruch Hu. It's my pleasure to call up our Bat Mitzvah, Talia Reinsmith, who will lead us in the next part of our service.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. We continue on page 30. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv arvim. Bechochma potea she'arim, uvitvuna meshanech itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakohavim, b'mishmerotechem barakia kir tzono, bore yom v'layla, golel or mipnei Hoshe, vehoshe mipnei or, umadir yom umevi layla, umavdil bein yom uvein layla. Adonai Sevaot Shemo, El Chai Vekayam, Ta'imid Melch Le'alenu Le'olam Ba'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Arvim. We continue in the middle of page 32. Everlasting love. You offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them. For they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai ha'olev amo Yisrael. We continue on page 34. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. We continue together on page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levacha ubechol nafshecha ubechol me'odecha vechayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitzecha uvleftecha b'derech uvshokbeha uvekumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'chayu letotafot beineinecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru vasetem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kidoshim le'elokechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher chotzeitzi etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiyot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. Emet.
On the top of page 39, we read responsibly. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot.
That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness.
That there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. On page 43, we read together. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapurei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. On page 44, we continue with Vishamru, giving God thanks for the gift of rest that Shabbat provides.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael, let HaShabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם, בברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, בברית עולם. ביני ובין
We continue with the Amidah on page 46. Please rise.
יגיד, ופי יגיד תהילתך. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Hasdei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevi Gula Livnei V'neihem L'man Shemo B'Ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayei HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Berofeh Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afai Michamocha Al Gevurot Umidom Melach Melech Memit Umechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh hakol Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh U'kdoshim b'chol yom yalelucha selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
You may be seated. We join together at the top of page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, and our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levarecha be'ira na'avod. As we turn to page 58 and prepare to do our blessing for Hoda'ah, our prayer for Hoda'ah for Thanksgiving, you'll notice in the middle of the page, we'll do the first paragraph together in English, and then it says on Hanukkah, continue to page 264. Guess what? We're going to do that. It's Hanukkah. So we're going to read that paragraph together, and then we will turn to 264 together. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one whose mercies never end, O compassionate one whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. Page 264. We turn now to page 253 as we think of all of those who are in need of healing, of mind, of body, and of spirit, those who are in need of this extra light that we bring in our world today with our Chanukiah. We think of those who are on your service supplement, or if you're joining us on live stream, they are on your screen. And we add the names of those who are in our hearts. Please join with us in the Misha Berach. Amen. We take a moment now for our own silent prayers.
On the sheet that you were given when you came in, hopefully, the bottom of the first page says ocho candelicas. You can get your Ladino counting on here. Your part, everybody, is the part that goes, oh. Everybody, oh. You've got it. You'll know when you come to it. Oh, una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Oh, una candelicas, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Oh, una candelicas, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Oh, una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí.
Oh, just kidding.
Go for it.
No, I'm good. All right. 8 candles, and one of the things, whether you've had them yet or not, that we look forward to most on Hanukkah are those tasty, crispy potato latkes. I have a story for you about a family making sure there are enough latkes to go around. Rachel hopped on one foot and then the other. It was the last night of Hanukkah, not the second, and all the relatives were coming. Papa got out extra plates. Mama flipped latkes left and right. Here, she gave Rachel a latke. Tell me if it's any good. Rachel took a bite. Mama's potato latkes weren't just good. They were like taking a little trip straight up to heaven. The phone rang. Mama wiped her hands on her apron. Hello? Miriam. Oh, your Aunt Tilly. Sure, she can come. And her 7 grandchildren. Of course, I'll have plenty of latkes, don't worry. Mama got off the phone and shook her head. 8 more people. Rachel bounced in her chair. That makes 17, including us. Mama held her head. 17 people in this tiny house, and less than an hour until they come. Papa, get more dishes down. Rachel, get more potatoes from the cellar. Rachel raced downstairs, grabbed the potato sack, and raced back up. Mama opened the sack. Only 3 sick little potatoes. That's what's left, said Rachel. Oh, Mama smacked her forehead. This is bad, and it's too late to go to the store. Maybe we can borrow some from Mrs. Greenberg, said Rachel. No, Mama shook her head. It wouldn't be right. She's all alone. Every year I invite her, she won't come. She thinks she'll be a bother, but she always says, if you need anything, let me know. She's got a heart of gold, but she is as stubborn as an ox. Maybe she'll come if we borrow her potatoes, said Rachel. Good idea, said Mama. Quick, go ask. Rachel raced next door. Mrs. Greenberg's house was always clean and tidy, like its face was just scrubbed and its blouse was tucked in, while Rachel's house always looked like it was still in its pajamas, needing to brush its hair yet. Rachel knocked. The door swung open. Well, 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 look who's here. Come in, come in. When Mrs. Greenberg smiled, it was with her whole face. Rachel stepped inside. Everything was still. It didn't seem much like Hanukkah, except for the menorah with the candles waiting. Sit down. I don't charge extra, Mrs. Greenberg winked. Rachel shook her head. I can't stay. Mama's making latkes. Can we borrow some potatoes? Borrow, Mrs. Greenberg frowned. No. She rushed off and soon returned with a big sack. Here, don't borrow. I don't want them back. You should eat them in good health. Thank you, said Rachel. Now please come. We want you with us. Mrs. Greenberg was silent. So silent, you could hear the walls listening. You could hear the rug holding its breath. Rachel, dear, she finally said, your mama has enough tumult without me. All those latkes, all that work, I know how it is. Years ago, every Hanukkah my house was filled with people too, but those days are long gone. She smoothed down her apron. Now you go home, and happy Hanukkah. Rachel dragged her feet. She set the sack on the counter. Wonderful, said Mama. Not so wonderful, said Rachel. Mrs. Greenberg won't come. Didn't I tell you, said Mama? She has a heart of gold, but she is stubborn as an ox. Now quick, get the rest of the eggs for the latkes. Rachel looked into the refrigerator. There aren't any left. Oh, Mama smacked her forehead. This is bad. Rachel nodded. I'll go ask Mrs. Greenberg. No, Mama shook her head. It isn't right. We have to, said Rachel. And now she'll have to come. Rachel ran over. Can we borrow some eggs for the latkes? Borrow? Mrs. Greenberg shook her finger at Rachel. She handed her a carton of eggs. Don't borrow. Use them in good health. Thank you, said Rachel. And now, please come for Hanukkah. Thanks anyway, said Mrs. Greenberg. But honestly, I'm more comfortable right here in my own house. Back at home, Rachel set the eggs on the counter. Mrs. Greenberg still won't come. Maybe I'll take her some latkes. Don't, said Mama. No one wants to eat Hanukkah latkes alone. That minute, the doorbell rang. Aunts, uncles, and cousins poured in, all hugging and kissing, laughing, and crowding around. But when it was time to eat, one sat down, and everyone sat down. There weren't enough chairs. I'll get some crates from the cellar, said Papa. What was Papa thinking? To sit on crates and eat latkes? Wait, said Rachel. I have an idea. She ran straight to Mrs. Greenberg's house. Can we borrow some chairs? Of course. Take all you need. Rachel carried the chairs to Mrs. Greenberg's front door. Then she stopped. Oh, I just thought, no, I shouldn't ask you for anything else. Ask, said Mrs. Greenberg. Whatever it is, you can have it. All right, said Rachel. We need room for all these chairs. Room? What do you mean room? Asked Mrs. Greenberg. Rachel tried not to smile. You have lots of room. Mrs. Greenberg looked at Rachel. You mean your guests should come and sit in my house? That would be nice, said Rachel. Mrs. Greenberg was quiet for a long time, so long that the walls got tired of waiting and the rug couldn't hold its breath anymore. Finally, she spoke. Rachel, my dear, someday when you're an old lady like me, I hope you have a girl living right next door who's as smart and sweet as you. I would love to have company for Hanukkah. And Rachel threw her arms around her. Mrs. Greenberg hugged her back. Rachel, you have a heart of gold, but did anyone ever tell you you're as stubborn as an ox? No, said Rachel, but thank you. And the same to you. Me, Mrs. Greenberg laughed. You're worse than me, Rachel. I didn't think it was possible. So everyone trooped over with plates full of latkes. Rachel marched over with 2 plates. She handed one to Mrs. Greenberg. Here, said Rachel, don't borrow. Just eat them in good health. So whether you're having Hanukkah at home, whether you're having Hanukkah with friends, whether you're gonna grab a little sufganiyot, a little jelly donut on the way out, whether you're with us on Sunday for our Hanukkah Palooza, eat latkes, eat jelly donuts with friends, with family, with friends who are like family. Celebrate the miracle of light, the miracle of the oil. Eat some crispy, tasty latkes and recognize that they always taste best when we're eating them with other people. We're gonna sing Hanukkah, O Hanukkah on page 365 to get even more in that Hanukkah spirit.
We're going to sing the first verse twice so that everybody can join in. Oh Hanukkah, Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table and one of you a treat. See thee going to play with them latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each light, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each light, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the horn. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. See thee going to play with them latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago.
And on that note, just kidding. Aleinu is on page 283. Please rise.
Just got it. Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגור עלינו להמליך מלכותו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני Shemo Echad.
You may be seated. We turn now to our memorial meditation, which can be found on page 289. The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows. It is radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades and its substance is consumed and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance and our lives are full. But as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. Our thoughts turn now to those in our community and extended community who have died at this time in years past. As we mark their yard sites, we remember them. Rose Alden, Samuel Barshop, Milton Braun, Anne Brenner, Erlene Burris, Julian Cavazos, Irene Poland Cohen, Pedro Cortez Jr., Lionel K. Dalkowitz, Elvira Real Downing, Esther Eklov, Max Engel, Caroline Farkas, Fela Jakobowitz Venstermacher, Eva Fisher, Marjorie Gernsbacher, Gwen Cohen Goodstein, Moisha Gurevich, Sarah Gerwitz, Rose H. Harrison, Betty Lindheim Hilton, William Jesse Hockersmith, E.J. Jody Hoffer, Irene Isa, Nathan Callison, Ruth Dietz Kirby, Rose Pomerantz Klein, Amelie L. Amy Koppel, Cecilia Landy, Samuel Lauber, Lorraine Lauderstein, Brenda Margie Lebo, Nancy Drake Letty, Natalie Levin, Diana Novi Lown, Francis Michael, Joseph Saul Mendez, Stanley A. Mendez, Lenore Moss, Laser Moosin, Abraham Lewis Newmark, James Anthon Patterson, William Panansky, Isidore Portnoy, Charles Carsey Rado, Barbara Reich, Linda Rogers, Ruth Rosenberg, Sybil Rosenman, Abraham Sandfield, Trudy Seelig, Sydney Serrata, Ruth Setters, Carrie Arbetter Mir Shapiro, Elizabeth Simon, Mary Sivan, Troy Allen Stein, Samuel Wagner Stewart, Maria Linda Vaca, Paul Verrett, Bonnie Wallace, Milton Saul Washer, Sandra Wolf, and Leon C. Sonny Wolf Jr. We also think of those who've been laid to their eternal rest in the past 30 days, whose family and friends are marking a period of Shloshim. We remember William Ackerman, Saul Freed, Tim Martinez, Raz Abulafia, Julia Judy Neely, Jack Brown Callison, and Howard Herman. We also think of one who was laid to their eternal rest this past week, whose family and friends are in a mourning period of Shiva. We remember Dr. Arthur Boehm, husband of Myra Boehm, father of Deborah Boehm and Tim Noken, Allison Boehm and Jennifer Elder, and grandfather of Jessica and Kenneth, Nathaniel and Kira. With all of these names and those which are in our hearts each and every day, we rise together as one community for Kaddish Yatom, page 294. Yitzgadal v'yitzkadash shemei rabba, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'olam ulmei almaya, yitzparach v'yishtabach v'yitzpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithalev v'yithalal shemei dekudasha brichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, ta'amiran be'elma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom yimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to all the world, to which we say, amen. You may be seated. It is my honor to call forward Debbie Roos, President of our Board of Trustees, to deliver tonight's announcements.
I'd like to welcome everyone, and I'm so glad that you could join us in our sanctuary or at home in your own sacred space. Thank you to Elisa and Lance Ryan-Smith for sponsoring the pre-Shabbat Oneg this evening. Thank you to Leslie and Adam Osborne for lighting our Hanukkah this evening. And thank you to Talia, Elisa, Levi, Brenda, and Lori for lighting tonight's Shabbat candles. Thank you also to Kol Simcha and Temple Beth-El Band for tonight's beautiful music. In the spirit of all of our music this evening and the collective holiday season, I offer a brief homage. You will also understand why I'm not part of Kol Simcha and while I have not applied to be our future cantor. But you will also note that there is shamelessly little I will not do on behalf of our sacred congregation. On the 8th night of Hanukkah, my true love gave to me 8 candles dancing, 7 latkes frying, 6 Maccabees, 5 chocolate coins, 4 dreidels spinning, 3 jelly donuts, 2 Hanukkah spellings, and 1 miracle jar of oil. Copyrights prevented. And with that, here are a couple events coming up at Temple. Hanukkah Palooza is Sunday evening, and hopefully you've made your plans to join us for a family-filled evening of Hanukkah food, celebration, and trivia. We look forward to seeing you and then seeing who will take home this year's trivia prize and ugly sweater contest. The Temple Beth-El Greeter Orientation is Tuesday, December 12th at 7 p.m. Greeting at Temple is a super easy, super fun way to get involved. It's also the fastest way to meet people and make a difference for our congregation. This orientation provides great information and tips so that you're ready to be that warm, welcoming person for folks when they walk in the door. The registration link is in the weekly announcements. We look forward to your participation in these community building opportunities, and for more information, please visit the upcoming events page on our Temple website. And as a reminder, everything going on at Temple is listed on the website calendar and in our weekly email, which arrives in your inbox around 4 p.m. every Thursday. Happy Hanukkah and Shabbat Shalom.
I think maybe you should audition for Kol Simcha. I just want to say, I think we have a new Hanukkah tradition. It was so awesome to hear the band and the choir together. I bet it was fun singing with the band too, right? So beautiful. Really added such joy and spirit to our service tonight. So thank you, Cantor. Our closing song is Ma Otzor on page 365. You got used to the melody during Micha Mocha. Please rise.
Ma Osur Yeshuati Lechana El Shabeach Tikon Beit Tefilati B'Sham Toda Nizabeach Leitachin Matbeach Bitzoram Nabeach Azegmor B'Shir Mizmor Chanukat HaMizbeach Azegmor B'Shir Mizmor Chanukat HaMizbeach Rock of Ages, let our song praise
Shabbat Shalom and Happy Hanukkah.
Shabbat.
Right on the chorus. Right on the chorus with the candelitas.